Hi, thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to make a quick and simple guess the number game. So we're going to see this input on our screen, guess a number between 1 and 20. So if I guess 2, it's going to say too low and I have 4 lives left. So I'm going to go 17. Too high and I have 3 lives left. So I'll pick 5, too low. 8 is too low again. So I'll go 13. And I've ran out of lives and the game is over. I've lost. So now we've seen the way the game is played. Let's go about writing it. Okay, let's look at what we got to do here. So I'm going to create a random number. I'm going to give the opportunity for the user to have 5 guesses. So I'm going to create some variables to keep count of those. I'm going to take input from the user and I'm going to check the user's input against the random number to see is it smaller, bigger or equal to. And then ultimately the game will end once the user guesses 5 times incorrectly or guesses the right number. So first off I'm going to import the random module. So import random. Now I'm going to create the random number using the randint function within the random module. So I'm going to go number, which is my new variable, and assign that to random dot randint. Now I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 20, so 1 and 20. The randint function is going to pick a number between 1 and 20. That's going to assign it to a number, so that is our random number. So for instance, if I was to print that, we see that our random number is 9. If I stop and run it again, now it's 11. So it's a true random number between 1 and 20. So now I want to keep track of the user guesses. So I'm going to say guesses. And I'm going to say that's 0. That's going to keep track of how many guesses the user makes. And then I'm going to say lives. Assign that to 5. So I'm going to count down from the lives until it gets to 0. So I'm going to create a new variable called loop. And I'm going to set loop to true. So I'm going to create a while loop. I'm going to say while loop. So what this is saying is loop is true, so while loop is equal to true. It's implied here, so while loop means it's true. Then we're going to take input from the user, so we're going to say user guess. And we're going to assign that to the integer of the input. I'm going to say enter your guess. So we're taking input from the user, so we're displaying this is the user on the screen, enter your guess. The user enters, say 5, and enter it as the string, so the int is converting it here to an integer. So that's a number that can be used in our program. And that's assigned then to our variable user guess. So we're going to keep track of the guesses and the lives. So each time the user makes a guess, we're going to say guesses. And instead of saying guesses plus 1, which is valid, so you can just do 1, the guesses, and then that's assigned back into here. We can just shorten it by doing plus equal to. I'll get rid of this here. So now we need to check lives. So each time the user makes a guess, we're going to take 1 from the lives. So it's the same here again, it's going to minus equal to 1, so it's the same as doing lives is equal to lives minus 1. Now we need to check that lives are not equal to 0. If they are, the program will end. So if lives is equal to 0, then we're going to use an F string. We're going to say print. We're going to say you have, I'm going to set lives here as the variable, so that'll be at 0. Lives left. I'm going to say game over. So this F string combines our string here with our variable lives. So at this point it should be 0. So you have 0 lives left and the game is over. And then we're going to change loop from true to false, and that will end our while loop, so it won't prompt anymore. So I'm going to say loop is assigned to false. Okay, after that's done, then we need to check. So elif whether number is equal to the user guess. So whether the user has guessed the right number. I'm going to print. I'm going to say an F string again. I'm going to say user guess. And that is our variable. Plug it in. Is the correct number U1. And we're also going to change loop to false. So again, we're just making sure that lives aren't at 0. If they're at 0, that means that the user has guessed 5 times. So if that's not the case, then we're checking if number, the random number, is equal to the user guess. If it is, we're going to say, like if they pick 5, we're going to say user guess is correct number U1, and we're going to make loop false, and it ends the program. So alternatively, we're going to do elif. I'm going to say number. If number is smaller than user guess, I'm going to use a print statement and an F string. I'm going to say, I'm going to plug in user guess. It's a number that the user chose. I'm going to say is too high. So I'm going to say lives left, and I'm going to plug in the lives variable. So if the number is smaller than user guess, then I'm going to say user guess is too high, and I'm going to tell them what they have lives left. So lives left is going to be 3 or 2 or whatever. So lastly, I'm going to say if I'm going to say number and it's going to be bigger than user guess, then I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to say low instead of high. Okay, that's the program done. So I'm just going to run it. So enter a guess. I'm going to say 1. Number's too low, 4 lives left. I'm going to say 5 is too low. I'm going to say 9 is too high. 7. Okay, 7 is the correct number. U1. Perfect. So thank you for joining me in this video, and hopefully I'll see you in another one soon.